Long ago, in the heart of a quiet African village called Umuoko, there lived an old woman named Mama Efe. She wasn't wealthy. She didn't have gold or fine clothes. But she had something far more precious, peace of mind and a heart full of joy. Every morning, Mama Efe would sweep the front of her mud brick hut, humming softly to the birds that perched on her roof. Her steps were slow, her back was slightly bent, but her smile never faded. She greeted everyone with warmth, children, elders, even strangers passing through the village. People said, "Mama Efe's smile is like sunrise, it brightens the day." No one had ever seen her angry or bitter, not even during hard times. And the village had known many hard times, droughts, sickness, poor harvests. But through it all, Mama Efe remained calm, steady, and full of laughter. One afternoon, as the sun began to dip behind the baobab trees, a young man named Tunde approached Mama Efe. He had been watching her for weeks, puzzled by how she managed to stay so cheerful. "Mama Efe," he said, sitting beside her on the wooden bench outside her hut. "You're always smiling. Always peaceful. How do you do it? Don't bad things ever happen to you?" Mama Efe looked at Tunde with kind eyes. She chuckled softly. "My son," she said, "do you think this smile grew overnight?" "No, oh. This smile has known tears, pain, and loss. But it also learned something important: true happiness doesn't come from what happens to you, but from how you choose to see life." Tunde furrowed his brow. "I don't understand. How can someone be happy when things are falling apart?" Mama Efe's gaze drifted toward the sky, where a flock of birds flew across the orange horizon. "Let me tell you a story," she said. "It is the story of my own life. When I was young," Mama Efe began, "I was a wife and a mother. My husband, Kola, was a farmer. We had 2 children, Ao and Ifeoma. We were not rich, but we had each other, and we were content. Then one rainy season, my husband fell ill. At first, we thought it was just malaria. We tried herbs, we called the healer, we prayed. But his condition grew worse. We didn't have enough money for treatment in the city. And one night, as the rain poured like tears from the sky, Kola took his last breath beside me." Her voice softened. "I cried until my chest burned. I didn't eat. I didn't sleep. I would sit at the doorstep and stare into the distance. People passed by, but I didn't notice. My heart was heavy like a stone." Tunde's eyes widened. He had never imagined Mama Efe had suffered such loss. "But one morning," she continued, "I heard my son Ao crying quietly behind our hut. He was only 6. I went to him and asked what was wrong, and he said, 'Mama, I'm scared. If you don't smile again, I think I will lose you too.' That moment broke something in me, but it also woke something up. I realized I had 2 choices. I could stay buried in my sorrow, or I could rise for the sake of the living. From that day, I decided I would look for at least one good thing in every day," Mama Efe said. "Even if it was just the smell of roasted corn, or the sound of children laughing, or the feel of the sun on my skin. At first, it wasn't easy. My grief was like a shadow that followed me everywhere. But each time I found something to smile about, the shadow grew smaller." Tunde nodded slowly. "So, you chose to be happy?" She smiled and touched his shoulder. "Happiness is not something that just happens. You must choose it. Every single day. Even when your heart is heavy, even when life is unfair." He looked down. "But Mama, what about when life is really bad? When nothing seems to go right?" She leaned forward. "Then you wait. You hold on. Because nothing lasts forever, not even pain. You remind yourself, this too shall pass. And while you wait for the storm to end, you find shelter in the little joys." Word of Mama Efe's wisdom spread throughout Umuoko. People began visiting her not just for advice, but for hope. Women struggling with marriage. Young men looking for work. Farmers with empty barns. She welcomed them all, with tea made from lemongrass and a listening ear. She never gave grand speeches. She only reminded them. Count the blessings you still have. Dance, even when the drum is slow. Be kind to yourself, because life is already hard. The village began to change. People who once complained about everything started helping one another. Children sang more. Elders gathered at Mama Ef's compound in the evenings to share stories. Even during a dry season, when the crops failed, the people did not lose hope. They had learned something powerful, that happiness was not found in money or comfort, but in community, gratitude, and perspective. As for Tunde, he took Mama Ef's words to heart. He began each morning by writing down 3 things he was grateful for. Sometimes it was simple: my mother's cooking, the breeze under the mango tree, the sound of my baby sister laughing. Whenever something went wrong, like when his bicycle broke or when he lost a job, he would remember Mama Ef's voice. You can cry, yes. But don't forget to also look up. Look around. Find something that still makes life worth living. Over time, Tunde noticed something beautiful. His heart felt lighter. His days felt brighter. And even when trouble came, he didn't feel crushed by it. One day, he returned to Mama Efe, now much older, her hair fully white, her legs weaker. Mama, he said, your story changed me. Thank you. She looked at him with tears in her eyes. That is the greatest gift you could give me, my son. Mama Efe passed away many years later. But her lessons lived on. The people of Umuoko still speak of her, the woman who turned pain into peace. The woman who taught them all that happiness is not the absence of trouble, but the presence of gratitude. They built a bench under the mango tree outside her old hut. And on it, they carved her words. Choose joy. Even when it's hard. And to this day, whenever the wind blows through Umuoko, it carries the soft sound of a smile. Moral of the story. True happiness doesn't come from riches or a life without hardship. It comes from a grateful heart, a strong spirit, and a decision to see the beauty in life, no matter what comes.